Want to draw a stitch from Lilo and Stitch? I'll guide you through it step by step with simple lines and easy shapes. We are going to use light lines to sketch in our guidelines. Starting at the bottom of our page, we're going to draw a line going across, and then we'll draw one roughly about the middle of it going up. Now we'll use our ruler, and we'll put the 2 on the line that went up, and we'll mark a dot on the 4 and one on the 0. These 2 dots will represent Stitch's ears. Let's place our ruler on the center line, and let's put a point on our 3-inch mark to represent Stitch's head. Now at the dots on the bottom guideline, let's draw 2 straight lines going up in the air to start Stitch's ears. Now we're going to sketch in Stitch's head, and we're going to start from the bottom of his ears and draw a half a circle up to the center line mark that we made earlier on both sides. Doesn't have to be perfect. We will fix it as we go. Now for Stitch's ears, we're going to start at the top and make 2 half circles, and they're going to be long half circles going from the top to the bottom. And when you go to the opposite ear, try to make sure that it's around the same height as the other one. At the bottom of Stitch's head, just a little ways up, we're going to draw a line across and then one about 2/3 of the way up. Now what this will do is give us a guide for Stitch's features, his eyes and his nose, and his mouth. Halfway down our center guideline, we're going to draw in a triangle to give us the basic outline of Stitch's nose. And once we get the triangle done, we're going to round it to make it look more like a real nose. Now time for his eye. We're going to put a little bit of space beside the nose, and then we're going to use the side of his head as the shape of his eye. We're going to come up around and go back down around and touch the bottom guideline. And we'll do the same on the other side. For Stitch's pupil, we're going to do the same thing that we did for his nose. We're going to sketch in a triangle, and then we're going to round that over to make it more realistic. And we'll do the same on the other side. Now Stitch's nostrils, you're going to make 2 marks on each side of the center line and draw like a teardrop shape that goes down to those marks, and then we'll connect them together. And now we can sketch in a couple of wrinkles above Stitch's nose. Along with his eyebrows, we're going to start from his eye, curve up and over, and bring it back down, almost touching that top guideline. And we're going to put in the little flicks of hair at the top of Stitch's head. One goes up to that center guideline and then curves back down. Then one goes out to the side, and then another one points down. About 3/4 of the way down Stitch's ear on the right side, we're going to make a little like triangle cutout on his ear. And then we'll put one about 3/4 of the way up on the left side. We'll draw in his mouth in between the little space we have down at the bottom. We're going to come up and almost touch his nose, curve back down, and then out to the end of his eye. And we'll do the same on the other side. We'll add a little curve underneath his smile to represent his bottom lip. And then at the center of his eye, we're going to come down and curve a line down around and underneath his mouth, like that. We'll do the same on the other side, roughly the same height. 2 lines on the end of each side of his mouth to act as dimples. Then we're going to draw a line that comes down from his mouth and hooks in, kind of even with the center of his eye. And that'll give him his bottom jaw. And we'll connect those 2 lines. Now we're going to give him a couple of lines to represent his body, pretty much right underneath that hook we just did, a little bit inside, going down and then out, and then move in a little bit and do the same thing again, curve it the opposite way. Now we're going to draw in his ears, and starting from the bottom, we're going to go toward the top in an S curve style. And we'll do that on the other side. Starting at the top of his cheek, we're going to do another little S line to represent the outside of his ear on the right side, and then we'll do the same on the left side as well. Now we can go through and erase all our construction lines, our guidelines, and we can adjust any lines that need to be adjusted. Now we're going to go through and darken up all the lines that we've drawn for Stitch. Now, if you don't have a 4B pencil, that's totally fine. That's what I'm using here. All you need to do is just darken them up, darker than the light lines you were using. And we're going to start from left and work our way over to the right side to avoid smudging as much as possible. We're going to add thicker lines throughout Stitch, and it will give it a little bit of contrast in the drawing instead of just straight thin lines. At the top of Stitch's eye, we're going to put a little round oval to represent a light reflection. Now at this point where Stitch is all sketched over, you can do one of 2 things. You can finish him in pencil like I'm going to do, or you can take and add color to him with crayons or pencils. You can even photocopy him, so you can do both if you have a photocopier. Now I'm going to shade in Stitch's eye with 1 layer of all the same color, and then I'm going to go back through and shade the bottom side of his eye a darker color. That way it goes from dark to light, from bottom to top. And I'll do the same on the other side. Don't color in the little round oval, so it'll give a highlight. I'm also going to shade in his nose. His nostrils will be a little bit darker than the outside of his nose. I'm going to put a light layer of shading all on Stitch's face so he doesn't look so white and his eyeballs will stand out a little bit better. I'm going to leave his bottom jaw white so it'll give a little contrast, and we'll shade the outside of his body and the outside part of the inside part of his ear. I hope you enjoyed today's drawing of Stitch from Lilo and Stitch. If you did, hit the subscribe and give it a thumbs up so you don't miss any future drawings. And as always, keep it real and draw what inspires you.